So this week on the segment, we have back with us Dr. Mark Carlotto, and Mark has written quite a fascinating article titled "The Cities of the Antediluvian Kings." And what makes this article so unique is that Mark has been working with crustal displacement theories, and actually has gone beyond just a theory and has found the cities of these antediluvian kings. Now remember, antediluvian means pre-flood, or before the devastation that wiped clean of evidence of these earlier civilizations. And we're talking approximately 20,000 years ago. Now remember, today in our history books, the oldest civilizations are considered the Sumerians and the pre-dynastic Egyptians, and that's about 6,000 years. Mark, talk a little bit about this discovery. I find it fantastic. What motivated you to actually reach out and try to find? You actually found the cities. It's amazing.
Hiya, Cliff. Well, I found most of them, not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It started actually with a previous article. A few months ago, I wrote something called Before Zep Tepi, which is basically using the Turin Kings list and the Turin Papyrus as a starting point, or really as a justification for searching for pre-flood sites in Egypt. A lot of people believe, and this is even controversial, that Zep Tepi was 10,500 BC, but right. If you buy into the Turin Kings list, that goes back to 40,000 BC. So I was trying to push it back even further. So that was kind of the starting point. And after writing that article, someone said to me, and this is why I put this stuff up online, because you get so much great feedback. Someone said, "Oh, you should look at the Sumerian Kings list. That goes back even further." And it's like, wow. And in fact, it goes back, depending on the source, to several 100,000 years BC.
Right.
So to answer your question, in the Kings list, there's between 8 and 10 rulers that have reigns that individually could be up to 30, 40,000 years, which is mind-blowing in itself. And collectively, they span a period of several 100,000 years. And they are associated with different places, different cities in ancient, prehistoric Sumeria. I mean, the Sumerian civilization goes back, the archaeologists believe it, started around 4,000 BC.
Right.
But this is way before that.
Oh, it's amazing.
So, and what's amazing about it is that there are these cities that are associated with these rulers, and they still, to some extent, exist. And you can still find some vestige of them in Google Earth, and probably if you're able to get there on the ground under the sand, there's probably a great deal more to be discovered.
Right.
Problem is, these places are in Iraq and in Syria, and they're, the accessibility is not, it's not like flying down to the Yucatan. It's a little trickier.
No, definitely not. You have to be able to use a gun, and it's pretty hairy stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you choose a couple of these cities? What was fascinating about this article, Mark, is that you actually, of course, as you're a satellite specialist, image specialist, you actually found these ancient cities. And if we're talking between 40 and 250,000 years ago, that's mind-blowing. That is amazing that you were able to find ruins that actually correspond to this Sumerian list. So talk about your discovery of these places.
Well, the period of time that this spans, blew my mind, because this is even longer than the periods we're talking about with the crustal displacement timeline. Again, the whole reason to get to pursue crustal displacement is as another way of, or as perhaps the only way of dating some sites that are beyond radiocarbon and other means of dating.
Right.
Dating them based on their alignments to these previous poles. And, based on Hapgood's analysis, which we've refined, can take it back to, 130,000 plus years, but then to go back to 200 or 300,000 years
Yeah.
is insane. But
Yeah.
but still, so where at least it takes us into that general range of timelines. And so the oldest kings, so getting back to your original question, the oldest kings are associated with two cities, Eridu and Babylon.
Right.
Eridu is a name I think people have heard, but it's probably not a place that they're familiar with. And this is in Iraq, and this is the general area of the Tigris-Euphrates River.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard, we've learned, as kids, we learned about the Babylonians and the Mesopotamian civilizations. Babylonians being relatively recent. Before them were the Sumerians. And so the time frame we're talking about is actually even before that. And Eridu and Babylon are associated with two of the earliest kings, which I will not attempt to pronounce their names, but they're listed in the article.
Right.
And actually these two places you can find. Eridu has a number of mounds, which are you generally find a lot of these in not only in this part of the world, but throughout the Middle East and actually Northern Europe as well. Throughout Europe, these mounds that are often called tells, that are buildups over time of debris. Civilizations kind of tend to have a tendency to build over what existed before them. And New York City is a modern day example of how we've built. Modern day New York is built over an earlier version of New York, and so on. So and so we find this there. So in Eridu, there's a number of these mounds, and two of them actually were excavated at some point. And one is a highly eroded ziggurat, which, if you look at it, it's like, how is this an artificial structure? And I think, if we were talking about a place like Mars, a number of us might say, yeah, that could have been an eroded pyramid, but then others would say, well, no, that's just clearly geology. Well, we're operating here with in sort of the time frame of that's so ancient that structures that were once artificial rectangular ziggurats or pyramids are now almost indistinguishable from natural geology. So one of the features there, this ziggurat is evident, and it's aligned, has alignments to previous poles. But a more evident structure is called the palace, which is very clearly aligned to the Greenland Pole. And the Greenland Pole, based on our chronology, would have been the location of the North Pole between 85,000 and 130,000 years ago. So the claim is that this was built at that period of time.
Yeah. Let me interrupt you real quickly. The one image, Eridu, it looks like a building. It has rooms, and is that a city to the left of the two images that you found? Eridu ER or something like that. That's the film.
Yeah, that's the
GR. Excuse me, Eridu GR.
Yeah, that is a structure that has rooms and hallways. So you're seeing the top of it. The roof is gone, and you're seeing the internal structure of it. And there's actually a number of sites that have been excavated because these things have been buried for so long, they're very well preserved. In the article, even before this, I talk about another place called Shuruppak, which is associated with rulers sort of in between, not the oldest, but not the youngest. And there's nothing currently that exists above ground, but there was an excavation done in the early 1900s and found these relatively intact Sumerian houses. And apparently, according to the experts, the structure of these houses didn't change very much over very long periods of time, and they felt that they were looking at a structure or pattern that had been around for quite a while. In fact, Koldewey, he's a German archaeologist, said something. Let me quote from him. He says, "Nothing shows more conclusively than these ground plans the immense age of Babylonian civilization, for even in this remote period, which is in part prehistoric, they give clear indications of a yet earlier development, from a presumably simpler and more primitive building.
Wow.
And this building that he analyzed and took measurements of and cited relative to north. If you do the analysis, it turns out that this building is not oriented to today's north, but was oriented to the North Pole prior to the flood, the last flood, the Hudson Bay Pole. So it would be at least 20,000 years old.
Wow.
So this is another one of the sites. So, kind of jump from Eridu to Shuruppak, but then they're probably the most famous city is Babylon. And there's a depiction of ancient Babylon at the top of the article, right? Which is very provocative. It sort of evokes much an earlier time when the climate was different in this part of the world. An extensive civilization flourished, and it was an advanced civilization whose origins archaeologists still really haven't been able to establish very well. So Babylon is a place that has numerous structures that are aligned to the Greenland Pole. And again, the Greenland Pole would have been the location of the pole based on our hypothesis from between 85,000 to 130,000 years ago.
Which is mind-blowing. Mark, this article is currently on the Facebook page on the Earth Ancients section. You got to go to Facebook, go to Earth Ancients, go to the group page. And it's a quick read. Mark doesn't get into a lot of technical details. There is a paper that he's also attached, which is the complete paper, but here we have all 5 of the antediluvian cities, and they're all aligned to this previous North Pole, which is the Hudson Bay Pole. And wow, this is mind-blowing. I want to see some archaeologists look at this and give us some feedback, because these are fantastic, and the images are amazing. And this looks like you got real content, real data to write another book, Mark. So we expect another book soon.
I just need some time.
Yeah, give you some time. Yeah. All right. For those of you listening, again, this is a profound article. I think Mark's opened the door to move us beyond mythology. Here's the actual evidence of the actual cities. And these are extreme ages. Mark, fantastic. Had to have you on the program to talk a little bit about this article, and thank you, and continue success on your research.
Thanks, Cliff. Thanks for your support.
All right, man. That's it. 1, 2, 3. I want to get this up this weekend. No, I was blown away that you actually go beyond, and it's great to be able to find these cities rather than just guess about them, right?
Well, I know that's, the thing is that there's so much great stuff being posted, so many great pictures, but there's how does it all fit together? And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Thank God, because you've been probably frustrated having to deal with Mars and the moon for years. Did you ever get any feedback on the massive 1 mile long ships that are orbiting the planet or Mars or the moon?
Not really.
Okay.
But so we're done, right?
Yeah, we're done
with the show. Okay. So I have a bunch of colleagues, people I've known for quite a while that are, they're involved with like MUFON and, UFO stuff. And so they'll email me, have you seen this? And it's like, yeah, it's like they had all these UFOs with the fighter pilots.
Oh, the Navy stuff. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay, great. What am I going to do with it? Well, is it real? I don't know. But there's not a whole lot of analysis you can really do with it. But then when the moon one, it was like I looked at it, and it's like, yeah, that looks kind of interesting. But I was, I'm really into this other stuff now, the ancient mystery stuff, and so it took them about a week to pull me into it, and I did it more just to shut them up. It's like, all right, let me do some analysis, and then I'll just give it to you, and then I'm done with it. But then as I got into it, it's like, holy crap, these things are big, they're moving fast. Yeah. And the so-called video that proves that they're fake is actually not, it's pretty good, but I can see that, they can't simulate all of the physics, everything that's going on. And so, I put it out there, but I'm not really following it. I think these other guys, I think submitted a report to MUFON based on that, but I'm not really closely following that.
Isn't it funny how we've all become so dismissive of what looks like good imagery and videotape of unidentified flying objects?
Well, look, Cliff, I mean, we believe a lie. It takes nothing. If someone comes out and lies to us, and I won't mention any names, people believe that. And then it takes an extraordinary amount of effort. And you might even argue you never fully succeed in turning a lie around. It's like, no matter how much factual data and analysis and proof, fact-based stuff, it doesn't seem to matter anymore. People have an opinion. They think, this is, they make up their minds and then they don't change. It's like, I think there's UFOs. No, I don't think there's UFOs. I think, this, I think that. And it's like, I don't do this to convince anyone. I do it because I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
And I'm learning a lot in the process.
Well, at least you're open-minded about the possibilities, but I think you showed your creed when you were with Hoagland a million years ago. Your interest in the field, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, that's that was like at the time. See, I wasn't into any of this stuff, and it was kind of a weird way to get into it, to get into ancient Earth mysteries, right? I mean, it's kind of a weird way to get into Egyptology by way of Mars. But
I wish you know what I should have done? I should have had you with Sarah Parkak on the show together. Because she initially agreed that this city by the lake on Mars was very convincing that it could have been a city, and then she went back to her typical statements about it being probable geology, when there's obviously not geology. You know what I mean?
But these people, listen.
I know. I was listening to that going, Jesus, Mark.
I know. Years ago, you know who Linda Moulton Howe is, right?
Oh, know her well, yeah.
Linda Howe, yeah. So I knew Linda pretty well for a while, and because she was really involved with the Mars, she was a catalyst. She tried to get a lot of stuff together and going, and we'd get together and we'd go. She'd say, "Okay, I want to take you over to meet." I can't think of his name now, but anyway, there's a couple of scientists that she knew. It's like, I want to get Mark together with them, and so they could talk, and maybe Mark be able to convince him. And it was like, as soon as you walk in the room, it's like there's this icy chill.
Oh yeah, they're forget it. Some of these guys are locked up.
They are so closed off to anything outside of the box.
Yeah,
and
that's the problem.
Mike McKay, Chris McKay. He was one of the Viking orbiter scientists. Anyway.
Oh, did he have anything to say? Like, you're screwed? What are you talking about? You're looking at flicks of. I mean, this is what they'll probably do, or what he did is probably said, "Oh, this is just a shifting of light or something."
That's exactly what they would be saying.
Yeah.
They would be coming at it from that. Hold on a second. What is wrong? I've got my pool filter running.
I hear something going. It sounds like it's
like the water level has just dropped in the pool. Hold on. I'm going to carry my computer out. Hopefully it won't drop anything.
Uh-oh.
I got to turn this off.
This must be serious if the computer's going out with you.
What in God's name? This always happens. I have someone opening up the pool and they screw something up, and then I've got to take the filter apart. Okay. Well,
have you been having hot weather where you're at?
No, it's been frickin' freezing.
Oh, because I was wondering, because I was interviewing Jim Willis yesterday for this week's segment, and he's in South Carolina, and they're dealing with 90-degree weather. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, here it's today it's probably maybe close to 65 right now. The sun's out.
Nice.
But it's, I planted arugula and kale 2 months ago when we started our isolation, and my wife was like, we should plant some stuff in case we can't get, vegetables and stuff. So I planted this stuff. It's only about like 4 or 5 inches out of the ground. It's been 2 months.
Wow.
It's so cold.
That's good.
Yeah. But it's warm.
Yeah.
It's warm right now. It's very pleasant. I'm actually sitting outside now. It's very, very pleasant.
Okay. Hey, well, listen, I'll let you go. I really appreciate you doing this segment, and I'd like to see more. So if you keep working on that, and if you like, in other words, if you drill down into one of those cities and you find more information, let's get you back and to talk about it, because this is fresh. This is really cool.
Yeah, I'm actually right now. It's like I have 2 or 3 of these things stacked up, and what I actually have kind of going in parallel. I mean, I got to get some stuff done for my day job that pays the bills.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've actually been looking at. Have you heard about these earthenworks or geoglyphs in Kazakhstan?
Are they so big you only can see them from the from elevated position?
Yeah, I mean they're fairly large, and it's a very flat area, and they don't know how. I mean, there's no mountain to observe them. It's not like
Nazca, where they said they were the geoglyphs were made because they were devotees to various gods or goddesses or some bullshit.
Yeah, there's no like context for Kazakhstan. It's a steppe, very arid, extreme temperature, very cold in the winter, very hot in the summer. And I guess it's been like it's been a site where nomadic people have passed through for centuries, for thousands of years, but there's nothing really. Doesn't seem to be any settlements there. So there's these geoglyphs, and they're really quite interesting. So I'm actually working on something with that right now. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I probably will look further into Babylon. Babylon there is so much that it's interesting, Cliff. They did a lot of excavations. Like the best work was done the turn of the century. And then, because archaeologists were very open to exploring these sites, and now half of what was excavated in Babylon seems to have been covered over. All the stuff to the south, And one of the things in Babylon we didn't even get to is the Tower of Babel. That's where the Tower of Babel is.
Yeah, but they've never. That's always been a myth. So they've never found anything.
No, but that's the site of it.
I know.
And below that, the Temple of Marduk, which was excavated quite deeply by this German archaeologist. I mean, I have some pictures and some drawings. It goes down, it's got to be at least 100 feet. And now it's all covered up. Why? Why did they cover it all up? I have the ground plan for this temple, and it's aligned to the Greenland Pole. So
are you thinking that maybe they covered it up because they found out information they didn't want to reveal, or to protect it in the same way that Göbekli Tepe was covered?
Obviously, they're hiding something, Cliff.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to record this. Say it again.
I'll say that when you're not. You are recording. I see recording.
Yeah, I can take this clip. Babylon is a mystery. If it's because it's a mystery, why would they cover it up? Why did the archaeologists? They found it's actually extremely old. Okay, I know I won't. I
got to keep my eye on you. You're dangerous.
I wouldn't do that. We're done.
Hoagland used to do the same thing to me.
What? Play clips of you saying shit that you would.
No. But he would try to rope me into but going along with him on stuff. It's like, no, Dick, I can't do that.
It's so funny. Your conservative behavior takes over when even in the face of new data, you're like, I found this, Cliff. Look at this. I found it, but it's really I'm really unsure of what it could be. But look at the data. Look at the data. I think it's this and this. No, but I won't say that. It's a possibility.
It's funny though. Everything is relative. You think I'm conservative. Most people think I'm crazy. People, my family, they, I am, I mean, my kids love what I do, but it's like, I think they realize it's a little different.
Well, you can't see it in any current history books, if that's what you mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No way. Anyhow, hey, Mark, listen, thanks for taking some time this morning. It's almost noon for you there, 20 minutes to lunchtime.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And also thank you for joining the Mars panel. That was one of the better panels, and we had our numbers spiked. And there's a couple of other podcasts that are trying to do similar stuff, and they just can't they can't break out of the ancient alien. And this is my big thing is to really move beyond ancient aliens, because ancient aliens, I think, as cool as the show is and as well produced as it is, they throw up a lot of crap and hope that it sticks. You know what I mean?
Well, I first of all, I enjoy doing the shows. I think I think they're really well produced, and they're good topics. And I think it's an important area that you're covering, because you're not jumping to that conclusion, which is so, everyone does that, and it's like, hold off, because as soon as you do that, it's like, okay, well, there's nothing really to analyze anymore. But if you say, okay, it could be terrestrial, it could be, a prior civilization, then you could maybe do some analysis. And that's what appeals to me, because I want to be able to do the analysis. And you can't, we've talked about this on occasion, and I start pontificating about how, you really can't study UFOs from a scientific perspective, because they come and go, and it's like, you can't repeat an experiment. You can't, it's frustrating. And so I think your show is different, and it's, even though you're clearly moving in the direction now of wanting to look at more more controversial things, like ruins on Mars and other places, which is even more controversial, right, than this stuff. But exactly. But it all comes full circle, I think, eventually, and I think it'll all make sense one day. It's all one equation. It's everything's got to add up in some way, right?
Well, I mean, one of the things I mentioned in this interview with everybody was that I think that there's two parts. I was serious. NASA or JPL is somewhat schizophrenic. You have, on one hand, these geologists and these engineers who are actually hoping to find biological and chemical evidence for life on Mars. And then there's this whole other side that has a rover bumping into building foundations and pyramids. Like, what the hell?
I know.
It's so screwy,
This is my pool. It's a little murky. Yeah, I know. It's anyway, I think the podcast, I'm blown away. You've done so many podcasts. You've done like 300 of them or something?
430.
Wow.
Yeah, long time. See, I was a program director for a conference. That's the whole thing. That's why I've been doing this for so long. This is another venue, another media to promote and to talk about the stuff I've had for years. I had Dick Hoagland on the show on the conference when Monuments of Mars came out.
Oh, really?
And he wasn't as nutty as he is now. I mean, everything that moves in the sky now is a possibility for him. And then this insane geometric theme that he was pushing. Dick's kind of gone silent, which is sad, because I think the death of his I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife, and then his own health has changed him in a way, and he's not taken seriously, or he's not as vocal as he was. So
yeah, it was interesting. I did a show. It was a 3-hour show back a couple months ago, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get a word in edgewise.
Oh my God! See, that's terrible.
But he gave me plenty of space.
Yeah.
And we actually had a great conversation. We talked about all kinds of stuff, and I felt like we really caught up after almost 30 years. It's crazy.
You hadn't talked to him in 30 years?
No.
So you had a falling out?
Well, it was he was really pushing this moon stuff. The glass cities on the moon.
Yeah.
And it was like, Dick, I don't see this. Well, we gotta digitize these photographs at higher resolution. And he was digitizing and enhancing artifacts of the digitization process.
He was enhancing the enhancements.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, it was at that point, and you
think he'd lost it at that point, huh?
I just felt that I felt it was time to move on. There wasn't I didn't see any compelling evidence, and I haven't really done anything much on the moon other than that article that I wrote with two other guys on those objects on the far side of the moon. That was back a few years ago.
Yeah.
And that's actually gotten some people have responded to that somewhat, but not. You asked about the UFO video. Nothing really on that. But there's, I don't know. I just didn't feel like there was anything compelling, and it was time to move on. I'd been doing the Mars stuff, and then I got involved with the STS 48 video, and I analyzed that. I went on a show, and some producer guy at NBC turned me on to the STS 80 video, and
Yeah.
so I spent some time. And then after that, it was like, okay, the UFO crowd is just really crazy. Everything is a conspiracy, and it's like,
Yeah. I completely stay out of that.
I was done with that. And I moved here, and I got involved in local history and archaeology where I live here in Massachusetts. And I almost didn't think I was ever going to come back. I never really gave it any thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. I think Dick is a Barnum and Bailey kind of we call them yellers, yell to come to see the freak show kind of thing. And that's what, pardon me?
Come and see the show. Welcome back, my friends.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and that's his biggest problem is that he just went crazy and became a barker for Mars and anything out of the ordinary. But I think his health and his wife's passing, and there's a lot of rumors. What's his name? Gary Leger hates Dick Hoagland with a passion. And
oh, he does? I didn't know that.
Oh my God, yeah. If you mention Dick Hoagland, he says Dick Hoagland's covering stuff up. He is detracting from the real evidence and this and that. And Gary was, by the way, between us, was very unhappy that he was not on the panel discussion with you, John and George.
I did see a comment to that effect.
Oh God, he was unhappy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on Gary's show a few times.
Yeah, Gary's out there, and he's a passionate guy, and I appreciate him, but he's just a little too much to the left. So he's got some good imagery though, but he plays with his images a little too much.
Well, yeah, he loves doing the graphics. He did this graphic of me holding a chainsaw and a gun.
I saw that. It's probably a picture your wife took of you in the backyard or by some trees, and then he converted it into some kind of a hellraiser.
It was so funny. I just had to leave it up on my wall. My wife was so pissed. She said, "You got to take that down. Everyone's going to think you're like that."
Oh God, no! Anybody who knows, you're not. I mean, he had a picture when I was on a show. He put me in the place of Indiana Jones when he's in the big cave stealing the golden idol.
Really?
When he lifts it up, the big ball comes running after him. Remember that one?
Yes, and that he put your face on Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, Christ.
Turned you into a tomb robber.
Yeah, I don't know what his listenerships are, but his producer wanted me to do some work with him, and I was like,
Oh, Mean Green.
Yeah. So, but it's fun. It's fun to be on that stuff. So, all right. Hey, Mark, again, thank you. Have a great day, and stay in touch. And I want to see more about these antediluvian kings, because I think you're breaking it open. I'm going to use a lot of your material for this, like I mentioned to you, this Mayan book that I'm writing.
We haven't talked about. You wanted to talk about the Mesoamerican sites. I don't think we ever really got to that, did we?
No, I have. I need to take some time and record what you have to say. I need to look at that real basic video so that it's locked into my brain. That's such a great place.
I got an idea. Why don't you do a show with me and Marco?
Who's Marco?
Bugato.
Oh,
because he's explored a lot of these places.
Marco's Central America, though. He did some. His work is significantly focused on Teotihuacan and the ruins.
Not the Yucatan. Yes, you want to do a show on the Yucatan. Okay.
Just because I know it so well, but did you find alignments for? You did find alignments for Teotihuacan, right?
Hudson Bay Pole. It's
Hudson Bay Pole. Yeah.
It's striking, and there's actually lunar alignments too. The complex below the Pyramid of the Moon, where the Pyramid of the Moon is at the top of the site. There's below that, there's a little square, and there's some structures around it. Relative to Hudson Bay Pole, these structures are like in solstice and lunar directions. Teotihuacan is very interesting.
It is.
But it's not Yucatan. I forgot.
No, but I think that's a good idea. Have you talked to Marco ever? Have you ever communicated with him?
Yeah, I met him in Mexico City.
Oh, so you guys, that's right. Did I hook you guys up?
No, I mean, not directly. I mean, I found out about his work through your site. He had posted some stuff, and
Yeah.
then his Uncharted Ruins blog spot is a great source of information.
Yeah. No,
And
he
yeah,
believes in a whole pre-Aztec, a megalithic builder focus that is probably very much aligned into what you're doing.
yeah,
You
he
know.
believes they came from the south.
Oh, really? Okay. I
Well,
gotta look at
one wave came from the
that.
south, but he's actually explored sites that
Oh my God. Yeah.
no one else has, I don't think.
No, no, no. Or they have referred to the sites vaguely in a paper or something, and then he'll actually go and take pictures of them. So yeah, no,
So
Marco.
so yeah, so in particular, I don't want mean to keep you, but the one site that he explored, um, God, what the hell's his name? Buried kings, buried cities, buried kings. You know the oh crap.
Is it a book on our area?
It's on the ruins
I
in
mean,
Mexico City. Oh God, what the heck's his name?
is it an earlier author?
No, it was one of the authors that's associated with Churchward and
Oh, Nevin.
Nevins. Yeah, yeah. He talks about the this in southern Mexico. He talks about ruins that he came across,
Yeah,
and Marco actually follows up. I think the site is called Chitlin,
yeah.
and he finds these megalithic structures. It's on his site.
You know, Nevin's work is rejected by orthodoxy. You know,
Of course, it is.
because he found the tablets of Mu and identifies them, and it's these early guys. Even in the Maya area, Thompson was writing that he believed that they were from Atlantis, Maya, and of course he was squelched immediately, and then he
Yeah.
completely turned around and turned into a son of a bitch to anybody who mentioned lands in Pacific or Atlantic.
Well, what's his name? Lejean?
Yeah, Augustus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
have
was
you ever?
destroyed.
Yeah, this because he was well respected before he wrote what was it? Queen Mu and the Egyptian
Yep,
Sphinx.
yep.
Have you ever been to his museum of his work or exhibit of his work or a collection of his work at some museum in California, Southern California, I think,
No way.
in the LA area? Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I thought that the
Yeah.
guy who wrote that book had just pulled it out of, some family and stuff.
No, I came across that, and but yeah, we've gone off on so many tangents. It started with Niven's book, and because I was trying to tie that back with Marco, because I think Marco followed up on some of his discoveries. But anyway, yeah, and then in Merida, isn't there a La Plongeon? Isn't there some kind of a museum there that has a
No,
lot of his work?
no. Remember, he found the chalk Mu sculpture is his claim to fame,
Right.
and that's now. See, Mexico is a mess. They took that, which it should be in the Merida Anthropological Museum. They took it and they sent it to Mexico City. It's sitting there now.
In
And
the
Museum, yeah, yeah, they shipped it out. He
in
was
the
really
Mayan
angry when they did that
in
too.
the Mayan exhibit.
Yep,
Yeah, that's a stunning museum.
I got to go back. I mean, I've been there twice, and every time I go there, I'm like, it's like an anomaly. And I talk about this all the time, Mark. It's an anomaly factory because there are such amazing sculptural reliefs. I have a couple photos of people standing on what look like flying machines, and
Yeah,
they're wearing protective goggle and face shields.
yeah,
It's like in America they would never ever be allowed. This ship would be buried. That's why I love going to Mexico, because it's an anomaly world. It's like they don't think of it in the way that we think. It's like, well, wait a minute, what is this gear? This is a gear, or this is an exhaust fan or something.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
just so many cool things to look at.
yeah.
So anyhow, yeah. So I do want to check back with you
Okay.
and do a talk, because I want to be able to have more data on these crustal displacements, because Hapgood was destroyed by that whole book that he wrote. You know, he was discredited and thought he was a kook, even though even though his theories were valid. You know.
Well, so Cliff, now I've got probably between 200 and 300 sites that are aligned to previous polls. And that's, you know, what I'm doing is I'm exploring all these places, and I'm finding everywhere I look, I find sites that are aligned. So this is just going to add, you know, more and more ammunition.
I would love it if you had a chapter that is on understanding the geology of crustal displacement. And I know this is no way to do it. I mean, the worst example would be that if you took the continents of South America and connected it with parts of Africa, you would see that at one time they fit, you know, that kind of crap.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the whole, yeah, that's how you got the whole idea of continental drift, which is plate tectonics.
Yeah, but that's where you have to go, don't you?
Well, so this actually is not plate tectonics. This is something else. And
but how do you explain the crustal displacement? How do you I mean, because Hapgood said, well, the surface of the planet is like an orange peel, and that every so often it moves. You know what I mean?
Okay, so imagine there are things that are happening on the surface of the Earth that cause it to become imbalanced, and it spins, it rotates. So it's like a top. If you have a top, imagine you have a spinning top, and you stick, say it's a a metal top, and you stick a big heavy magnet on it, and you try to spin it around. It's going to be all messed up. What it's going to want to do, it's going to want to slide the magnet down, so it's moving around the equator, or it's going to change the whole distribution. It's not a great analogy because it doesn't have a shifting crust. But anyway, that was the motivation for explaining crustal displacement. The problem is that the physics still don't have evidence that happens, and it seems like you need to have some kind of an external force. And maybe it was some kind of extraterrestrial, like they talk about what happened during the Younger Dryas. It was it was an encounter with some kind of meteor or large body. Well, maybe something like that, but no one seems to know, and it's not my wheelhouse, so I'm not actually going to go out crusading. I'm more the circumstantial evidence guy. It's like, hey, okay, if Hapgood's wrong, then why are so many sites lined up in this way? And
let me just interrupt you real quickly. What was the ice cores going to help you do? Because you were talking to me about ice cores last time, in terms of being able to help with the validity of your hypothesis.
Well, actually it was this guy that's actually writing a book. His name is Mark Gaffney. He's writing a book on crustal displacement.
Oh, cool.
We've been in touch, and we work a little bit together. And he's been looking at mollusk data and finding that the fossils where they're located is displaced from where they're currently located. And apparently mollusks require very specific conditions, so they can't move around. So he's looked at these shifts of where the fossils are to where they are now, and has been able to use that as another form of indirect evidence that there was a shift of climate, systematic shift. And he's done it in a few places, and you triangulate that, and based on that, it's like, yeah, if the pole were here, now it's here, it could explain it. So it's circumstantial. I mean, the only real evidence will be it happening, and then if it happens, we're probably dead, or writing a book about it will be the least at that point.
But I mean, it would be so great to show evidence of where a continent was at one time, and then all of a sudden, here's where we are now. Say 500,000 years ago, or 200,000 years ago, as you showed.
Oh, you mean illustrating it?
Yeah, yeah. Being able to say, here's where it was before, because then the geologist can come in and go, oh, he's got something here.
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely be possible to do that. What this guy Mark has been looking at is something called biostratigraphic data of their mammalian assemblages of fossils. In other words, they're like fossils at certain layers in the strata. That he's been able to date based on the stratigraphy, because they're older than 50,000 years old in some cases. And for example, in England, there's a lot of evidence that there were hippopotamuses running around like 100,000 plus years ago. There's no way you could have hippos in England now.
Yeah.
The climate had to be a lot warmer. And so it's sort of the data that Hapgood had, but he's finding more of it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, well, that's really supports your thesis, really.
Yeah, I think
mean,
when Mark gets his book done, I'll turn you on to him, and I think you're probably gonna want to have him on the show because he's looking at more the evidence from climate and probably perhaps somewhat geological as well. I think I'll probably do less of that because it's not my forte.
Yeah, not your thing. That sounds cool. That sounds very cool. Okay. All right, my friend. Hey, have a good day and stay in touch. I'm looking forward to. Hey, by the way, as a suggestion, post the cities of the Antediluvian Kings on Graham Hancock's website. Submit it.
Can you do? I don't know what do you mean?
Go to his articles and events section and let me see. Let me look at it real quickly. You should post it there because I'm sure he'll want to read something like that. Let me see. Graham, you can submit articles and sometimes he picks them as the best of the month.
Oh, okay.
Hang on a second. I'll send this to you. Under articles, he has a whole article section. This is where I meet a lot of people is his article section.
Okay.
Let's see. Items that you would like me to consider for publication should be submitted to this email, forum@grahamhancock.com.
Okay.
Mark, he's going to eat this up.
Well, I don't know. I mean, his thing right now is he's got the thing with the Younger Dryas and the, his latest book. I mean, this is way beyond, earlier.
He's got an article listed just a month ago called Earth Cataclysms and Hopi Kachina Saviors from Space. I mean, believe me, your piece is going to be perfect.
Okay. Given that, I guess it won't be too crazy. Okay.
Do you want me to send you the link or did you write it down?
I'm actually outside. Would you mind?
I'll send it to you. I'll send you an email. I'll send you the whole page. Yeah.
All right, Cliff, thanks.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Stay in touch.
Have a good day. Stay well.
All right. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, there you are. Hey, I didn't know I was looking around on my computer. I didn't know you had turned your.
Oh, because I was turning. I turned the camera on with the pool. I said, "Hey, Cliff, take a look at the pool," and it was all murky.
This is the first time I'm looking. You got a nice backyard there. You got a fence and spin it around there. Let's take a look. Nice. Oh, yeah, you have your fence gated for small ones. Oh, Jesus, that's a good sized pool.
Yeah, well, actually, the pool is bigger than the house.
It's so funny. Here in California, a place like that would cost, $5 million. Out where you are, it's different, but that's nice. Where's your garden? I don't see your garden anywhere.
So, see, these are my my raspberries and blueberries are back there, and
looks like you're on like a half an acre.
Raspberries.
Oh, look at that!
This stuff I planted 2 months ago. It's been so freaking cold.
Wow.
And I have onions over there.
You got some nice, you have grounds for, annual vegetable growth there. That's cool.
But it's New England and my
Too
rosemary.
cold, you think?
Oh God, so I've been spending all my time trying to figure out like how I can do a greenhouse.
Oh, a shed?
Something to extend the growing season because I just can't. My son-in-law lives 20 miles away and he has incredible tomatoes. I can hardly grow a tomato here.
Is it because he created a hothouse?
Well, see, I live in Gloucester. It's north of Boston, tip of Cape Ann. We're surrounded by water. It's a lot cooler here than it is inland, and so it's just hard to grow stuff.
So I think that solution that you came up with, of course, you'd have to get the okay from the wife to build a hot house.
Yeah, she's an artist, so it's got to pass it's got to be aesthetically
aesthetically pleasing for the backyard.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the way it is, man. It's not you by yourself. You put the ring on. You have a partner in. I wore one too up till a few years ago. So anyhow, yeah. Hey, get a hot house there. You could grow anything probably.
I know that's what I have to do. I think.
All right, my friend. Hey, you take care. Stay in touch, and thanks again, man. Hey, if Hancock publishes your article, it adds a whole dimension to your work. So
yeah, I mean, I knew I actually did. I did some conferences with him and Baval and John Anthony West back in the
really?
Actually mid-90s.
So you've met the guy?
Yeah. Yeah, I've met him. The Mars Mystery. You saw the Mars Mystery?
Yeah, his book. Are you? Oh, he references you.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you talk to him when he wrote that?
I was talking more with Baval,
Yeah,
but I don't really like the way they did the book. They did like,
cut it up. Yeah.
we were like riding around in a car, and we were just talking, and he just like transcribed stuff almost verbatim, and I read it in the book. It's like, what is this shit?
You mean Graham took your conversation and just
Yeah,
transcribed it?
well, or Baval. I just don't
Oh,
like the way I just don't like the way.
it's not a great book on Mars.
It's not a great book.
Yeah, it's I use it to give me leverage that people who love and think that he's a god, So
Robert Baval said to me, he said, we signed a contract when they wrote, what's the one that came before that, Message of the Sphinx? They signed a contract
I can't remember. Yeah.
for 3 books. And so they had to write they needed a 3rd book.
Oh, yeah. Baval has been very, very ill. You know that.
I know that. Actually, I stayed with him a couple of times at his house. And,
in Spain?
No, when he was in England.
Yeah, I talked to his brother just to let you know he had some form of cancer that was just fucking him up big time, and now I think he was recovering slowly, but I haven't heard from him in a couple of years.
Yeah, I saw Hancock when he came to Boston, and I talked to him briefly, and then I had a copy of the book. I said, I'll give it to your wife, and I walked over, I gave it to her. She's a trip.
Santha, yeah.
Yeah, she's a trip. And I said, because I hadn't known about Baval at that point, and she told me that he's really sick. I said, oh, well, just tell him that, it was just tell him that Mark Carlotto was, next time you talk to me. And she was like really strange about it. It's like, I said, well, just give me, can you give me his,
contact info?
Can you give me his email? And she was like, well, no, I don't think I should do that.
Really?
And I'd met her too previously, but they're at a much higher stratum,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's fine. I don't really care. I'm not into, I'm into doing the research and into figuring this stuff out and getting it in a book in a form that I can at least communicate it. And then the writers can go off and do their thing.
Well, I think that your work is very important because I have been told, and you can't write about this. I studied with an elder, a guy named Humbat's Min, for like 20 years, and his family and his teachers and so forth and so on, that Maya relate to a much older pre-civilization, pre-Maya. They probably weren't even called the Maya. And these are the guys that built the cities. And this is what pisses me off about archaeologists. They depict, and I have a lot of friends that are archaeologists, and I have a really good friend who's a forensic engineer, a guy named Jim O'Con, who wrote a book on the Maya. When they depict the Maya, they're these loincloth wearing savages, and I'm like, when the conquistadors have it wrong too. I show this in my early part of this book, that we were basically lied to by the Spanish and the church. But when you go down there, they're not building. These guys are not building pyramids. These are rudimentary people. The technology to build a pyramid is extremely complex. Engineering is amazing. So it's the pre-people, probably, and this is what's so amazing about your work, is probably pre-flood. A lot of these early buildings. If you see, have you been to Uxmal? Did you go to Uxmal?
No, I was gonna do that on your trip.
Yeah, that pyramid is an engineering anomaly because it's so heavy that to build it, you really have to know your stuff. The physics behind the building of that is amazing. Yeah. You're not talking; these are not people who are cutting up their brothers and fighting over territory. These are a whole different people. So
yeah, the
guys who came and resettled Chichen Itza and that whole Yucatan Peninsula, and probably a good deal of Mexico and down in Guatemala, came after a horrific event. And I show in the book, if you look at some of the very, very early photographs taken by University of Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, I can't remember, these buildings are covered in soot and sand. And yeah. Augustus took photos of all that area. And when you look at it, and he somehow, I mean, even though he has rudimentary cameras, he gets it really well. You can see the sediment coming out of the windows and of the doorways of these ruins. And it's just, and this is what drives me nuts. It just doesn't make sense that they would say, this is natural evolution, that these buildings were left alone a few hundred years. Well, no, not when you have huge amounts of sand and sediment coming out from the receding waters, and you see it. And this is what you should do. You should spend time in going to the Mareda and visit the ruins that are on the Gulf side. All those, a good portion of those buildings are under the ground. They're partially exposed.
Yeah.
So,
well, next time you go to the Yucatan after we're done with COVID.
I don't know what's happening. I have a trip to Egypt in October. I think I'm going to have to cancel it.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting to me because I get money from that. I make money from that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you do.
I mean, I was in the high tech. I worked for PayPal for years, and it was in high tech, and I gave it up to start doing this and just having a few clients. But I cut my salary, my income by a third because of my passion for this stuff. And some people are like, my brother's like rolling his eyes. What? You gave up a serious job to do this? So anyhow,
but this is the serious stuff.
Well, I don't know. It's serious, but you have to make a living. We all have bills to pay, and that's where trying to write a book and doing this stuff is tough. So, but you do what you have to, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to connect with you on as much as I can, and getting an understanding, and maybe finding other avenues to validate your work. I mean, I think that your work's valid. But I mean, to continually reinforce the idea that these ancient cities were much older.
Yeah, I mean, if it provides at least a possible rationale for looking. I mean, because I don't think archaeologists are that inclined to want to dig down any deeper. They've already they figured it out. It's like, okay, we got this. And but I mean, if you read the papers, if you read the archaeology papers, the astronomy papers, particularly in regards to Mesoamerica, they come up with these theories that are the only way they can really understand any site is by contextualizing it. They've got to know so much about the site, and then I feel like they almost twist it to make sense. And then it's like you read the summary of these papers, it's like, you look for the so what, and it's like they spend dozens and tens, 20s, hundreds of pages doing all this, research and citing this person and that person. It's like, okay, well, what have you come up with? It's bullshit.
That's what the problem that I have is that they compare the Maya to the Romans because they have to have a comparative study.
Yes.
They can't say they're unique people.
Yes.
Because then they have to rewrite the book.
And I get that. And it's okay, if you want to understand what's on the surface, okay, maybe. But that's not the real answer. The real answer, you got to go down.
Right.
And it's like this person that I was talking to that likes my work, but it's like when I pressed about the alignment of the Osirian, she was like, oh yeah, that's pre-dynastic. It's like, yeah, but so that's what you should be looking at, right? But they don't. They have their blinders on. It's crazy.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to see that building, it'll blow you away.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I spent a week and a half in Egypt, and I saw a lot, but I didn't get down that far.
Yeah, when you walk in there, it's like it's truly an out of place artifact. It's like it has no business being there.
Yeah. And
when you see the pillars, each of them weighs like, I think it's like 250 tons.
Yeah, it's like the size of the stones at Baalbek.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, these are the pillars of this structure.
Yeah.
It's such an anomaly, and for them to say, well, it was built by Seti the First or something, like, what? And that's what drives me nuts about Egyptology, is that they're so comfortable with their bullshit. And the same thing with Mayanists. I have a lot of friends. If you've heard the show, did you hear anything from Dr. Richard Hansen, who's excavating El Mirador? He's very, very old.
I know the name. I didn't. Is that that's one of your? Is that a recent podcast?
He's been going on. I have him once a year. I've had him on like 3 times.
Okay. Yeah.
And he is the one, and he's a Mormon. And of course, the Mormons, if you read the Book of Mormon, there's a lot of aliens and some strange stuff in there.
Well, the lost tribe of Israel, right?
Yeah, but they also have a big section on the Maya, and finding the sacred records and so forth and so forth, so on. But one of the things that is interesting about him is that he said to me, and I don't know if it was in confidence or not, but I've been saying to everybody that his mentor was Michael Cole, who is the famous Mayanist. Cole was the one that excavated Tikal in the 1940s, late 50s, and he said to Hansen, he said, if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would have spent more time in the Southeast Asia, because the pyramids there are very similar to the Maya pyramids, and it's like somebody had a blueprint.
Yeah.
Basically, he's telling us right there that he believes in diffusion.
Well, and this was a church word, and Lapagion's concept of mu, that the Nakal, that's what they call this.
Yeah.
These enlightened adepts came from Asia.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
and that was the basis of the Mayan civilization.
These guys are unwilling to talk in the terms that we are, because they really risk their income, their credibility.
Yeah,
and yet they're falling on this stuff. I mean, he talked to me in confidence, and I'm talking to you in the same way, that he's excavating Mirador. He's seeing engineering feats there, and we also see it in the LiDAR scans of that area, the biosphere down there, of unusual types of very early types of pyramids. And he also has found the largest freestanding Sakbi, which is the White Roads, ever recorded. One of the roads is 150 feet across, which is a real anomaly. So
these are the real straight ones that go on for great distances.
The White Roads. Yeah, we talked about it in last week's show. I had Jim O'Con, who's the forensic engineer who I feature a lot, wrote a book about him. The engineering behind him is mind-blowing. And also the cement that they created to pave these roads is like amazingly strong. They used polymers, I guess you could call it geopolymers, to pave these roads that he believes lasted for thousands of years, and that's another sign of a technologically advanced society that are concerned about how people move around, and also that's how they got commerce around. So
yeah, they're concerned with something more than killing people and offering sacrifices to the sun god.
Yeah
More going on there.
Yeah. A lot to talk about. All right, my friend, stay in touch, and we could talk forever.
I know.
And we will.
Okay.
All right, man.
Until next time.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
Right, take care. All right, cheers.